Hello, I'm Terry Willesee. This weekend on Extra, a community fights a blizzard to give a little girl a chance at life. A mom's search for her son ends on a lonely highway, and Princess die as you've never seen her. A tragic car accident hurled 3 young men onto a desert highway. 2 survived, 1 was missing. His mother feared he'd been left for dead at the scene.
There's an 18-year-old child out here, and they acted like they didn't give a damn.
This mother takes us back to the scene of the accident, where she made the most shocking discovery of her life. The Lonesome Highway. She's been banished from the royal family and cut off from her beloved children.
They're going to try to force her to ask for a divorce. Once she asks for a divorce, of course, he's home clean.
Now we go behind Windsor's walls for an exclusive look at Diana, as you've never seen her before. Diana, the lonely princess. It is the most incredible story of human kindness. An entire community fights a bitter storm to bring a little girl the gift of life.
I don't think I've ever been touched that deep in my life when I saw other people out there.
Special delivery. Plus, a woman's lifetime dream to be thin ends in the most terrifying experience of her life.
It was a trip to hell and back.
And Gloria, the bikini hot dog vendor, has a new role. And thanks for joining us. One of the most chilling messages any parent can receive is the one telling them their child has been in an accident. Melissa Atkinson received such a call about her son, but there was a twist. The extent of his injuries were not known because he'd disappeared. His mother's immediate concern was he may have been left for dead. She began a desperate search. Lyndall Marks has the story.
Melissa Atkinson holds her daughter, Elena. The pain of losing a son and brother is just too much. Their grief is shared by many who loved Jake Atkinson.
I wrote a poem to my brother. And this is what I think of when I think of him. Don't be sad, for I am free. This flesh and bones are not me.
It's hard to explain the kind of love we had. You know, I'd say, my daughter says he was my favorite, too. She could be right. You know, as a mother, I hate to say that. You want to love all your children the same, but Jake was special. He was special. I miss him so much. We had such a bond together. It was so special.
The last time Melissa saw her 18-year-old son was Christmas Eve. Jake was with his friends, Jason Laurie and David Williams. David had just received $1 million settlement from crippling burns when he was a child. He bought a new Toyota and wanted to celebrate with a driving trip through California and Nevada with his best friends, Jason and Jake.
What sort of a vacation was this? What were the boys doing?
Just having a good time. Jake always wanted to go to California, and this was an opportunity to go with a couple friends and just have a good time.
The boys were headed home to Denver via Las Vegas. They were on Interstate 15 on January 1st at 9:50 p.m. when suddenly a deadly mistake was made.
The boys were about 30 miles from the Nevada border. David was driving, Jason was in the front next to him, and Jake was a passenger in the back. According to police reports, David was attempting to climb into the back of the 4Runner. Jason held onto the wheel, but David's foot kicked the steering wheel, and the 4Runner went out of control.
The California Highway Patrol were quickly at the scene. All 3 boys were ejected. The driver, David, was charged with DUI and taken into custody. Jason had a broken leg and was taken to the hospital. He pleaded with the officer to find his friend.
I told him that Jake got thrown out of the truck and that no one can find him.
Even though Jake's billfold with his driver's license was allegedly in the vehicle, Jason told Channel 13 that wasn't enough.
He sounded like he didn't believe that there was a third person in the truck.
At home in Denver the following day, Melissa still had no idea about the accident. She says the police didn't contact her. Then, 15 hours later, the news came.
David's mom called me from New York and said there was an accident last night. David's in jail, Jason's in the hospital, and Jake is missing. I went down on my knees. I said, oh, no, not Jake.
It was a few hours later when Melissa says she finally spoke to the California Highway Patrol. What did the officer say to you on the phone?
He told me that he thought the other boys were making up the phantom driver. And the only thing I could do is file a missing persons report.
What did you say to him?
I said my son wouldn't leave his friends. My son has got to be with him.
Without stopping to think, Melissa acted on her first impulse, to drive from Denver to Las Vegas to find her son.
If Jake was in trouble, it doesn't matter where it was, I would be there to help him. Watching the miles and the time, and I just wanted to get out here as soon as I could so I could start looking for my son.
It was the morning of January 3rd when Melissa arrived in Las Vegas. It was now 36 hours after the accident. She telephoned the California Highway Patrol.
I said, where'd the accident happen? I'm going to search for my son myself. He's out there. I know he's out there.
And nearly 2 days after the accident, Melissa says it was her phone call that prompted some action. The California Highway Patrol went to the site along the desert highway where the accident occurred. Melissa arrived a short time later, and a terrible thing happened. By a tree on the sandy ground, she saw her son's body.
I turned my head and I started crying, and then the anger of the whole thing, that my son was still laying out here. They had a yellow blanket hanging off the tree to mark where his body was. And I saw it when I came walking up. And when I saw where the vehicle had landed and where my son's body, I was very angry that they're telling me they searched for 2 hours. And it was right there. The coroner met me first. The other 2 officers were walking towards me. I introduced myself. I said, I'm Melissa Atkinson, the mother of the boy you cannot find. He got in my face and started pointing and saying, ma'am, I did everything I could. And I said, don't yell at me. You didn't do anything. You let my son lay out here and die. Why didn't they do their job? They're trained for things like this. There's an 18-year-old child out here, and they acted like they didn't give a damn.
That's the most dramatic experience that anyone should ever have to go through.
Do you think the California Highway Patrol could have done a lot more?
From what I know at this point, yes.
Bill Morris is a specialist with more than 20 years' experience as a police officer and a fatal accident investigator.
We're in the position where the Toyota came to rest, and if you look to the south here, where the toilet paper is on the bush, that is the resting place of Jacob Atkinson. And if you look, it's basically a straight angle.
A straight line to where so Jake's body was laying in the most obvious spot.
Yes. Yes.
Whether it was obvious to the California Highway Patrol, we don't know. They refused an on-camera interview. Some attempted to find Jake. The night of the accident, a tour bus stopped and civilians were asked to look around. And police say passers-by joined in as well. Then the following morning, we were told an officer came out here and looked around for over. But amazingly, he found nothing. It would be another day until Jake's body was finally found, from where the Forerunner stopped. Is there a chance that Jake could have been alive when he was thrown from the vehicle?
Yes. The one thing that I noticed out here is the soft sand. in the desert area, because of the softness that absorbed some of the energy that he had when he hit the ground, and it wouldn't be the same as hitting the hard pavement or a hard gravel surface.
I have this vision of him laying out here, possibly able to hear these people thinking, good, I'm going to be okay, these people are here, and then nothing.
Melissa will have autopsies before she can learn more about her son's last moments, but she does have one final special. David's mum, Mary Ellen, wanted to give Melissa a sketch made of the three friends just days before the accident.
Okay, thanks.
For a mother to accept that her son has been senselessly killed, and harder to imagine that this could have been.
If I hadn't driven out here and called them and told them I was coming out here to search for my son myself, I really wouldn't be here today.
The autopsy report on Jake is still not complete. In the meantime, his legal advice, and you know, it's hard to comprehend the effect of finding your own son's body at the scene of an accident 6 hours after it happened. Little wonder Melissa Atkinson is asking questions. When we come, an inside look at the lonely future of London's most beloved royal.
This nerd of a husband is complete and utter fluffball.
And later, meet a woman who told to a health spa where losing weight was the last thing on their mind.
I was afraid to go to